enrolled in one of our CTE courses, and with that course comes access to so much more than just the class itself. So as part of your enrollment, you receive access to our full CTE program, and today we're going to walk you through what that looks like, both inside your course and beyond it. So let's get started. We do have the Q&A open today. Feel free to use it, and let's begin. I want to take a moment to introduce the CTE engagement team because this group is here to support you throughout the time in the program. So first, I'd like to introduce Miss Inez Ventura Jackson, who serves as our CTE engagement manager. She's here with us today helping in the Q&A, and she oversees our engagement team and helps ensure students and families are supported across all of our Texas K-12 schools. Supporting her are 4 CTE engagement specialists, and chances are you may have already heard from one of us or even received an invitation to today's session from one of us. The engagement specialists are your main point of contact for all things CTE. And honestly, if you're not sure who to reach out to or whether your question is CTE related, you can always contact the engagement team and we'll make sure you're pointed in the right direction. Our engagement team includes Ms. Carbajal, Ms. Henderson, Ms. Johnson, and myself, Mary Vanderslice. So whether your question is about your CTE course, opportunities outside of your course, or even something school related, our goal is the same, to make sure you are supported and to help you stay engaged and successful. All right, before we dive into all the details of the program, I want to make sure to share an important reminder from your school. And that is to please be sure that you complete your online orientation course, also known as the ORN 015. You'll see this in your classes. This course is required and is designed to help you get familiar with how your online courses work. Think of this as a hands-on orientation. You'll actually click through your courses, explore the platforms you'll be using, and get a feel for how everything is structured. The online orientation course also includes important information about our CTE program, including things like Choices 360 Career Survey, student organizations, and other key opportunities we'll be talking about actually today. So most schools ask that this course be completed within your first week of school, so ideally within the next 5 days. This should be one of the very first tasks you complete, so again, please make sure you have that ORN finished, as it really sets you up for success moving forward into the semester. Alrighty, so let's start with the big question. What exactly is Texas Career and College Prep? And over the next few slides, I'm going to walk you through what our program is, how it works alongside your courses, and what it can offer you beyond just the class you're enrolled in. This will help you give a clearer picture of how CTE fits into your school experience and how it can support you now and later on. So what is CTE? CTE stands for Career and Technical Education. You're going to hear that term a lot, so make sure you know that acronym. If you've ever gone to a traditional school, you may already be a little familiar with CTE. A lot of districts have a CTE building or a special wing of the school, or programs like medical technology, trade courses like welding, where students can go for more hands-on learning. So what we offer is essentially the same idea, just built for a virtual setting. And in our school, no matter which Texas K-12 school you attend, you're getting access to the same CTE program and opportunities, no matter if you're at any of our 4 schools here. So CTE courses are electives for students in grades 7 through 12, but they're a little different from a typical elective. These classes are meant to connect what you're learning right now to things you might actually use later on in life. And through CTE, you get the chance to try out different career areas, build real world skills, and even work towards industry certifications, all while you're still in school. That's a big deal. And one thing I really, really want to emphasize today is that you do not need to have everything figured out yet, especially for our middle school students here today, that this is a time to explore. So CTE lets you try things now, see what you like, and even figure out what you don't like without having to wait until college and spending lots of money and time on something that turns out not to be the right fit. So it's really about giving you exposure, experience, and skills that will help you no matter what path you end up choosing, which is a very valuable skill to have. We've talked about the what, but you could probably guess the next question. Why CTE? And if you didn't already know, this is definitely something you want to stick with. I know some students, especially going back to our middle schoolers, you might feel a little unsure and think, I'm only in 8th grade. Do I really need to be thinking about careers right now? And the good news is, you do not have to have everything figured out. But there are a lot of really, really great benefits that come from being in our CTE courses. And students who participate in CTE courses, this is a great thing, are about 21% more likely to graduate. And they tend to have better engagement and attendance overall. That's huge. We also see that CTE students often do better academically, not just in their CTE courses, but across all other classes too. So that's a big reason for that, is because they start to see how what they're learning connects to real life, which makes school feel more meaningful. And when we see meaning in something, we place importance in it as well. And I can't forget to tell you about how 91% of students who complete a CTE pathway graduate feeling ready for what comes next. That's almost 100%. That's huge. And when we talk about what comes next, that might be a job, college, or additional training. So students who earn industry-based certifications or dual credit, which we will talk about more in this presentation today, can even begin gaining experience while they're still in high school. So why CTE? CTE helps open doors, and it gives students real skills that they can actually use in the real world. We've talked about the what, we've talked about the why, but you might have guessed it, we're going to talk about the who. So who? Who do we service here? I'll tell you who. We service students across all of our 4 Texas K-12 schools, which means we're supporting tens of thousands of students every year, and that number continues to grow. Any student who's interested in taking one of our CTE courses is welcome. There's really not any extra requirements or boundaries beyond grade level. CTE courses are available to students in grade 7 and up. And if a student is interested, we encourage them to take advantage of this amazing opportunity. So no matter which school you're part of today, you might be coming here today from TIVA, DADX, TOPS, LSOA. We are so glad you're here. And all 4 of our schools have access to the same CTE courses and support. One second, let me pull up. One second, let me pause that. I think it started playing. Okay, we're going to take a look a little bit at CTE Live together too on the next slide and get to hear from our students just why CTE is so amazing. When we get to that next slide, Ms. Ventura, if you'd be able to just give me a thumbs up if you're able to hear the volume. Let me pull up that slide. And again, we have the Q&A available just for anyone that came in late. If you have a question or want to ask something, feel free to use our Q&A. We have it here available during our whole meeting today. Let's turn over to that video I talked about where we get to hear from our CTE students.
This year, even in a virtual school, we went places. We explored careers from our screens, led organizations online, and earned industry certifications from home. And when the time came, we showed up in person too. We showed up in CTSO events, in dual credit college classes, in internships, and in real-world spaces that brought our learning to life. At my K-12 school with Texas Career and College Prep, it hasn't been just another online course, it has been a launch pad. Behind every class, every competition, every certification, there's a story. Amara's is one of many of ours that shows what's possible.
This journey gave me more than I expected. When I signed up for a CTE course, I thought I was just checking a box, but I found something much bigger. It wasn't just another elective, it was real. It was growth, it was career focused. It was something I could actually use, skills I could actually take with me, no matter what path I chose. For the first time, it felt like I was learning something connected to life outside of school. Something that sparked my interest and made me want to keep going. It made me see the future as something not far off, but as something I could shape right now. I earned certifications, real ones, that actually mean something in the world today. I had the chance to intern, to explore careers, to experience, but not just to build a resume, but to actually build a future. The dual credit I earned college hours through CTSOs, I became a leader. You built my confidence to apply for internships, and you helped me discover what I'm capable of. With TXC&CP, I didn't just take classes. I took strides. I learned to speak up, to show up, to work for what I want. You gave me options, you gave me experience, and you gave me the confidence to know that no matter where I go next, I'm ready.
This is Amara, a proud graduate of the class of 2025, a proud TXC and CP scholar, and well, I'm just getting started.
What a testimony. We don't always get to hear from every student, but when we do and they tell us how Texas Career and College Prep changed their confidence, direction, and future, we're reminded of something powerful. These aren't just students. There are future nurses, welders, entrepreneurs, service members. There are future professionals, and they got started right here. Each of these seniors took a pathway, earned a certification, and stepped into the world with purpose. You don't have to wait to prepare your future. It can start now, because this is what TXC&CP is all about for students like you from every background on any pathway to either enlistment, enrollment, or employment.
Students wearing a orange and blue cord have earned an industry-based certification. Proud of you guys for that.
Alrighty. So yes, you saw that correctly at the very end. One of the best parts of the video is just seeing how many students stood up to show that they had that industry-based certification. And for a lot of those students, it wasn't just one certification. Many of them earned multiple certifications before graduating. So we really hope that gives you a good picture of our student perspective of what it is like at CTE and being in one of our CTE courses, and how much that you can grow from being inside of our program. And that brings us to our next slide, which is our driving forces, because y'all are what drives everything we do. Our students are our driving force here, from the courses we offer to the way our program is designed, and it's all centered around y'all. The first thing we focus on is interest. We want to know what courses and what you're curious about, what catches your attention, and what careers you'd want to explore. Once we understand your interest, the next step you'll see in the middle is engagement. We want to help you get involved, stay connected, and feel invested in your courses and in the program as a whole. And finally, you'll see that we focus on preparation. Our goal isn't just to help you pass a class. We want to help prepare you for what comes next and give you a clearer idea of where you might want to go in the future. All three of these work together: interest, engagement, and preparation. They guide everything we do here in CTE. And we've talked about so many why, what, and who. That brings us to how. So, how? How do we figure all this out? And how do students make it to that graduation point that you got to see in that video? Well, let's look at that together. This right here is what we call the Texas Career and College Prep Model, and it shows how everything fits together. It's all going to start right here, and it's with our pathways. Every CTE course is designed to build in our professional skills that you can use no matter what career you choose. And you're going to notice as it goes right and into a circle as I speak about this that many of them are exploratory in our courses. And you'll get to try things out and see what interests you as well. So each one of our courses also includes an opportunity to earn an industry-based certification. So you're not just learning, you're building something meaningful. And beyond the classroom, we offer wraparound services like CTSOs, work-based learning that ties to the three E's, which again, we're going to talk about more in this presentation, and things like workforce dual credit that help you prepare for what's next. And all of this works together, and we'll walk through each piece more in detail in just a moment. So let's go to the beginning. When it comes to getting started, a common question we often get is, how do we as a program figure out what you're interested in? And that starts going back to that online orientation course we mentioned earlier. So inside that course, you'll find information about Choices 360, and you'll also receive an email with a login instructions if you haven't already. One of the main things we ask students to complete in Choices 360 is the Career Cluster Survey. This isn't a test and there's no right or wrong answers. It's just a way to start thinking about what interests you. And it's really important because this survey helps show which career areas you might enjoy. And it also helps us understand what students are interested in overall. Because on this screen, it's an example of results. You'll notice that in the image, the yellow section represents business, which is one reason why we offer a lot of business-related courses right now. Students' interests change over time, though, and we use the feedback to guide what pathways and courses we add next. So if you're interested in something new, make sure you fill out that survey so we know about it. And it's already part of your orientation course. So it's nothing more that you have to add on to the things you do. It's already in the ORN. It helps us help know what you are interested in. We've talked about where it gets started, how we find out, but once you take that survey, it helps guide you into our courses and pathways. We'd like to call this our pathways to possibilities because they're really about helping you explore your options and seeing what's out there. And when we talk about courses, we're going to start with our middle school courses. Hopefully we have some middle schoolers with us today. And we're going to talk about everything available for our 7th and 8th graders. So middle school. Middle school CTE is really about exposure and building skills. Students are not having to choose a career just yet. This is time to explore interests, build confidence, and pick up foundational skills they'll use no matter what they decide to do later on. Why start CTE in middle school? One of the biggest benefits of starting CTE in middle school is that it helps students feel comfortable and confident using digital tools early on. And that confidence doesn't just help in CTE, it really supports success across all online courses, both now and in high school. This is a question that comes up. You may notice that CTE looks a little different depending on the school. And that's completely okay. While the specific courses might vary by campus, the goal is always going to be the same: exploration, skill building, and getting students ready for those high school pathways. So let's talk about our first two today. You might be from one of these schools. Here you're going to see the middle school CTE options available at our two schools, DATX and TOP, our Digital Academy at Texas and our Texas Online Preparatory School. These courses are all about helping students explore interests and build confidence with real-world skills, just like we talked about earlier. But you'll also notice some red stars by courses, and those count for high school credit and give students an early look at what high school level learning is like. We've talked about DATX and TOPS. Let's take a little peek at our two other schools, TIVA and LSOA. Now, again, each campus looks a little different, and that's intentional. The goal across all schools is the same: exploration, skill building, and preparation for what's next in high school. And again, you'll notice some red stars. Those count for high school credit. They're really important. We've talked a lot about middle school. I know high schoolers, you're probably thinking, what about us? What is available to us? Let's talk about your courses as well. Now that we're moving up into high school, we currently offer 14 amazing pathways for students to explore. Let's take a look at some of those. And we'll start with our business and industry endorsement. And we usually start here because this is again, like you saw in the image of the results, this is our most popular area right now. This endorsement is including our largest number of pathways. And it's going to continue to expand as student interest grows. Believe it or not, it's going to get bigger. Within business and industry, students can explore areas like accounting and financial services, animal science, business management, digital communications, entrepreneurship, graphic design, robotics and automation, and our web development pathway too. But that's not it. Let's now talk next about our STEM pathways. And this is going to include another popular options like cybersecurity and programming and software development, both areas that are in much demand in our economy. And last but not definitely not least, we love these pathways. We have our public service pathways, and this is going to include our healthcare, family and consumer services, law enforcement, and teaching and training. With these specific pathways, these are going to be perfect for students who are interested in helping others and really are looking for careers that are service-focused careers. We've taken a look at our pathways, but if you want to check out the pathways too, I want to make sure you have this information that you can take a deeper dive into later. Make sure you check out our website. It's texascareerandcollegeprep.org. And you may have already seen the link in the email we sent out. But once you're there, you'll just select whether you're in middle school or high school, and then you can click on the courses and pathways, and that'll take you straight to everything we offer. You can then click on any course to see more details, and it's going to include what certifications or student organizations that are connected to that course. So you can see everything we offer on our website. Make sure you save it. It's super important. It has so many great resources. Alrighty. So next, let's talk about those certifications because you're going to hear about them a lot in CTE. One thing to know is that every CTE course includes a certification opportunity. That's why you're going to hear it so often. This isn't anything extra that you have to sign up for. It's built right into the course. Nothing more. A certification is more than just a grade, though. It's something you can actually put on a resume and say, I didn't just take this course. I'm certified to do this. And one of the best parts is that it's completely free. Certifications are included with your course. A lot of these exams normally cost money, but our students don't pay anything extra. And there are two main types of certifications. You're going to notice there's two. There's industry-based certifications, stackable credentials. Let's talk about those. The first is the industry-based certifications. These are going to be more advanced and directly tied to the skills needed in a specific career field. Whereas you're going to see on the right-hand side are stackable credentials. These are certifications you can earn over time and build on as you move through the pathway. And we're going to take a look at a little example. Here's a perfect example of what we mean when we talk about pathways to possibilities. So you're looking at one of our healthcare pathways right now, and you can see how the certifications build as students move through the courses. You can, and if you're checking it out with me, just start on the left, and as we move on, you'll see how it builds. So in our Principles of Health Science, it offers that first aid stackable credential. That's the start. Then we move on to the medical terminology, and it has the CPR. Then we have the anatomy and physiology, which includes the bloodborne pathogens. And these are all foundational certifications. But then as students move further into the pathway, they reach the big industry-based certification, things like medical assistant, dental assistant, EKG technician, or pharmacy technician. And you might have seen too in that top left corner, you'll see one of our students, Armani, and she followed the healthcare pathway. She took principles of health science, medical terminology, anatomy and physiology, and then pharmacology. And along that way, she earned first aid, CPR, the bloodborne pathogens, and then in her senior year, she earned that pharmacy technician certification. So that meant that once she earned that certification, she was able to go straight into a pharmacy technician role. And she was actually highlighted as one of the students on our website and social media during National Pharmacy Technician Day because many of our students are already able to work in pharmacy tech positions with that industry-based certification. That's amazing. So this, again, is exactly why we talk about pathways to possibilities. It's not just about taking a course. It's about earning real certifications and being prepared for what's next. And speaking of what comes next, let's talk about what's available beyond the course because we started off with that at the beginning, saying that we'd learn what's beyond it as well. And the first is workforce dual credit. This is a great option for students who want to go a step further and earn high school credit and college credit at the same time. You may have heard of academic dual credit. That's usually for classes like English, government, psychology, but workforce dual credit is different. It's focused on technical, hands-on courses. And these are things like culinary arts, EMT, cosmetology, and welding. A lot of these are more hands-on by nature. So one of the really great things about our workforce dual credit is that, and this is workforce dual credit actually in general, is that these do not require the TSI, which makes them very accessible for students. And we partner with colleges all across Texas to offer these opportunities. And you can see a full list on our website under Workforce Dual Credit. Again, make sure you save that website. It has so many resources there. And if this is something you're curious about, there's an interest meeting you'll notice on this slide. It's at 4 p.m., February 10th. We also offer college tours so students can check things out before committing. And just like everything else we've talked about, this is all free. The wonderful word free. There's no cost to families. That's amazing. And we even help cover for things like books and materials. It's just another opportunity available to students as part of being in the CTE program, which is why we have this overview for y'all today. That way you know what's available to you. So if students are interested and committed, we want them to check out our website, our Workforce Dual Credit, and see what colleges we partnered with and what courses they offer. We also have that informational session on September 23rd as well. Actually, no, that's our old one. Our next one after February 10th, we have another session, but it's for application help. Miss Ventura, can you remind me of that date for our application help for our workforce dual credit?
Absolutely. So the interest meeting is, yes, February the 10th, and then we will do a follow-up meeting to help you fill out your application, because you still have to apply for college and things like that, but we will help you with it because it does work a little bit differently. And that will happen on February the 24th, also at 4 p.m. So if you go to the interest meeting, you will, since you already RSVP and we have your information, we will proactively send you the information for the 24th as well. So as long as you join the interest meeting, we'll send you that reminder. But yes, there's 2 meetings that you can attend, get information, another one to help you get started.
Thank you, Miss Ventura. We appreciate that reminder. So let's talk about another thing we want to mention. And this is an awesome part of our program. It's our student organizations, also called our CTSOs. That's another acronym you want to make sure you know. Some of these might look familiar. If you've been in a brick and mortar school before, you'll notice a few also with stars. Those stars mean that they're available to our middle schoolers as well. So every CTE course connects to one of the student organizations. So teachers will usually talk about it during class. For example, if you're in a healthcare course, you might hear them mention HOSA, maybe about a competition or a project that they're working on. But to actually participate, students do need to sign up, and it does require parent permission. But once you're signed up, you can get involved in as much or as little as you'd like. And just to reassure you, again, we cover the cost. Students don't pay for membership. Our next meeting is going to be on February 6th for all of our CTSOs at 11 a.m., but you don't need to be signed up in order to get the invite. All of the student organizations meet at the same time, so if you want to be an active member in more than one, um, they still can, but it's going to only have one time slot for all of them. So that we do offer different activities and events though throughout the year that they can attend if they were involved in multiple CTSOs. So getting involved in a CTSO can really make a difference. If we want to go back to the student Amara, she started out in Skills USA and eventually became a student officer and president. She gained leadership experience all along the way in her CTSO. And we get to hear in the next one from our students about what being a part of a CTSO has been like for them. So let's take a look at what our students have to say about CTSOs. One moment. Let me pull that back up.
CTSOs have been a game changer for me. I've learned valuable skills and made lifelong friends.
I've learned organizational skills, leadership, and time management, not to mention making lifelong friends. We have the most supportive and loving advisors. I've learned to lead others and myself.
Being part of a CTSO gives you a chance to network, compete, and develop leadership skills. It has been an amazing experience. Whether it's business, technology, healthcare, or more, CTSO offers a platform for students to explore their passions and prepare for successful careers. Connect beyond the classroom.
And there you have it, straight from our students. We really hope that you'll consider getting involved beyond the classroom, just like the student said, and joining a CTSO if it's something that you're interested in and want to commit to this semester. And just a reminder that you can find all the sign up information on our website. I know I keep saying it again and again, but that website is very important, so make sure you check it out. It has so many resources. And again, our next meeting for CTSO is on February 6th. So we've talked about so many things today, but our next one is work-based learning. This is where we offer things like workshops, resume support, and industry connections to help students take what they're learning and actually use it. We host a lot of workshops throughout the year. For example, we have a Career Connect bootcamp coming up that's focused on building resumes, and whether you have already made a resume or you're starting from scratch, we walk students through it step by step. And a lot of our students worry that they don't have enough experience yet. We help them see that being in a CTE course alone counts as experience. Being part of this program has already kickstarted your experience to put on a resume, especially when you factor in the skills and certifications that you're earning in every course. So we also help students build portfolios, do things like mock interviews, and prepare for next steps. And another part of our work-based learning is our industry chats, virtual tours. These give students a chance to hear directly from professionals and learn what different careers actually look like. And these opportunities, again, are all optional, but they're open to all students. So you're going to see them in your K-12 calendar, no matter if you're in our program or not. You'll usually see them listed on your school calendar for that time. Again, it's for all students. And if you're not available live during that time, we do post the recordings. That way you can attend later and watch if they can't attend at that exact time live. I do want to talk a little bit about our business partners. We do have an amazing team member whose role is to build and maintain partnerships with businesses all across Texas with the goal of creating real opportunities for our students. Because again, we want to make sure that we build real world experiences. And the idea here is very simple. We want students graduating with skills and certifications and connecting them to those real world experience where they can actually use those skills. So through these partnerships, students may have opportunities for internships or work-based experiences. Some are paid, some are unpaid, but either way, the focus is on gaining experience and building that confidence. And a lot of the preparation for this happens through things like the Career Connect Bootcamp with the resumes, portfolios, mock interviews, so they feel ready when the opportunities come up. Now, on the screen, you'll see just a few examples of organizations we work with, like Whataburger, Toyota Manufacturing, MD Anderson, State Farm, and there's a lot of others across the state. Opportunities are going to vary throughout the year and based by location. So if there's something you're interested in, just know that these connections are available. And I'm going back to it again. I told you it's important on our career and college prep website and our student hub. I mentioned this in the last slide, but I'm just going to quickly highlight it. We have an awesome Career Connect Bootcamp, and we want to make sure that students are aware of it, that this bootcamp is designed to help students get ready for upcoming and resume building, portfolio creation, interview readiness, and professional skills. It's a great place to get experience, and if you are interested in internships, job shadowing, real world experiences, and want to feel more prepared before just jumping in to the career after high school. So there will be an informational session on Thursday, February 12th, where students can learn more about what the bootcamp involves and what opportunities it leads to. So stay tuned for that. And again, make sure you're checking our website for all the information. Oh, that's who we are. That's Texas Career and College Prep. You have your CTE course, but there's also a full program here to support you, and whether that's through student organizations, dual credit, or other learning opportunities. We know that the start of the school year can feel a little overwhelming, especially when everything is new. But our hope is that once things settle, you'll remember some of these opportunities and take advantage of what's coming up, especially in February, because February will be our CTE month. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to follow us on social media so you can get reminders and updates. You can scan that QR code to connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and our link tree. And you can always visit our website. I know I've said it probably 10 times tonight, but you can always visit our website at texascareerandcollegeprep.org. And if you ever have questions, again, don't hesitate to reply to that welcome email or reach out to one of the engagement specialists. We're always happy to help. So thank you again, everyone. Have a great day. I'll check the Q&A.